Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here with a video in the dark. We are heading to work. It's going to be a good day today. We are into the new year. Day one, WWE Monday Night Raw. They really kicked it off in a big way. I honestly was looking forward to having a new WWE champion last night. Seth Rollins did retain. I didn't really care if it was Damian Priest cashing in or if it was going to be Drew McIntyre actually defeating him to win the WWE Championship. But I really thought the WWE Royal Rumble was a pretty hot ticket going into last night. But I thought if there was a new champion, I thought Seth Rollins kind of being inserted in the WWE Royal Rumble picture, I thought made the match actually bigger than it is right now. But they really kicked it off in huge, in a huge way. Yesterday, the internet was abuzz. The Rock was on the set of the, I was going to call it game, I guess it is just game day. It's not Saturday game day because they were doing the bowl coverage. They were in Pasadena, California. The Rock was there. They just did the XFL and the USFL football merge of the two leagues. It's now going to be the United Football League. I guess it's going to be better for all around just because they're not having to fight amongst each other for, minor league spring football. It's just going to be the one brand. There is going to be a whole lot of television coverage because of all the TV deals that were already involved. So that'll be good. I think if there's a team in your market, I think you might care, but I just don't see anybody really caring if you live in a part of the country where you wouldn't be able to follow one of these teams personally. Them getting their actual coverage and stats actually put on news coverages or in newspapers. I think that's really going to help them more than anything else. I think that when it's been the two XFLs that Vince owned, I think that's kind of what killed it, is that they were putting all this money into it, but when it really came down to it, nobody really cared. Nobody was really following it. You could have turned the game on, but you didn't really care about what you were watching. But The Rock was there, and people noticed that Nick Khan, the WWE president, I think that's his. I don't think he's the CEO. But he's like the big dog in charge. When it really comes down to it, there's him, there's Triple H. Those are really the two guys that really matter around that place right now. And, he was there, and, people kind of were like, I don't really think he's the hugest college football fan that's just hanging around of these things. Why is he kind of in the back shadows with The Rock? And, you kind of like put your finger on it and was like, I think The Rock's going to be there. Raw's in San Diego. I don't really know if they took the drive, but it's a really short flight. I'll tell you this much. The drive from my hotel at Disneyland in Anaheim to San Diego was one of the longest drives of my life. I would never take that drive again in my life. I thought that was a horrible drive, especially after a Monday Night Raw. I did that, I believe, in 2011 when Miguel got us tickets for Raw. I was really appreciative of that, but just the drive in that traffic honestly sucked. But The Rock, he came out, he had his little ordeal with Jinder Mahal. It was kind of cute the way that they kind of teased that Jinder Mahal was the former champion making his return. It reminded me a lot of the time they did the same deal with The Miz coming out, and then Chris Jericho making his return, one of his sabbaticals where he was away from wrestling and he actually came back. I thought it was pretty cool. But The Rock came down there. Him and Jinder had, a little bit of beef. He hit him with the the people's elbow. I did notice that it didn't hit him with the rock bottom. I was really kind of surprised, seeing how like Jinder Mahal is like a he is a former champion, but he's like a bottom of the barrel, kind of guy in WWE. He hasn't really done anything in a long time. Why wouldn't they put the finish on him to kind of like put the exclamation point on The Rock being there and being back? The Rock delivered a promo. I'll tell you the truth, I kind of really didn't know where he was going. I thought he was going to make it like a comment about going out to get in and out. Since they were in southern LA, I thought that he was going to be talking about, going out and getting a burger after the show. Kind of surprising because The Rock kind of doesn't say anything unless it's kind of like sponsored or anything like that. But if he's feeling it and he thinks it's the right moment, I think he could really say it if he thinks it's gonna get a pop. Here in Sacramento, a lot of the guys, especially after the show ended, when they had shows at Monday Night Raw, when they had shows at Arco Arena, which is in Natomas here in Sacramento, especially after the show went off the air, they would make comments about going to the In-N-Out because it was just literally right down the street from the arena. You had to pass it in order to get onto the freeway. It normally was really, really busy after shows. Long time sitting in the drive-through line. I'm sure if you went there after shows, it would be a really easy spot to meet wrestlers as they were trying to leave and get to the next town. But they were in Southern California. I kind of really thought that that's where they were going, but he says, "Oh, I gotta sit at the. Am I gonna sit at the booth? Am I gonna sit at the bar, or am I gonna sit at the head of the table?" Direct shot, going right at The Rock with the family ties. People have been looking for this, honestly, since I would guess since like 2020. I bet for really, even with no setup for a match, I mean, people have been looking forward to The Rock versus Roman Reigns since WrestleMania 31. I want to say was the first time that that it was kind of like this is the match that's going to happen. The Rock and Roman, they're on like kind of equal playing lines. At that time, Roman hadn't won the championship yet, but he definitely was the main eventer. He was going to WrestleMania, and people thought it actually could happen. The Rock was there when he won the Royal Rumble. That's when people were throwing the booze down on him. There was a lot of people who thought that WrestleMania 32 was going to be Roman versus Rock. How the match happened, was Roman going to turn heel then? People were having a big wet dream of that happening. But Philly, this match honestly really could happen. But if you really kind of think about it, is like, okay, the winner of the Royal Rumble gets to pick which champion he wants to go after. I don't think it's been set in stone that the winner has to go after, Seth Rollins' championship. They've always had that kind of storyline. They get to pick what belt they go after. So whoever wins the Rumble, why would they want to go after Seth? Why wouldn't they want to go after Roman? Would it be another heel that just doesn't want to mess with Roman, doesn't think that he could be the one to defeat the streak, doesn't want to go, what the streak is being like how many days he's held the championship? Or is The Rock gonna be in the Rumble at the Rumble? I mean, we really didn't get a direct me versus you one-on-one, let's get this going on. Maybe The Rock knows he has to win the Rumble in order to do it. The last time The Rock got a WWE championship shot, he just showed up. I think it was on, I don't think it was on Raw 1000. It was on, one of the anniversary shows of Monday Night Raw. And he just came out and he was like, oh, by the way, I got a title shot at the Rumble. At the time, CM Punk was the champion, but we really didn't know if that meant that Punk was still going to be the champion at the Rumble. It ended up being him versus Punk. We went to the match. It was a damn good show in Phoenix. The Rock won the championship. Cena won the Rumble. It was a good day. really good day. But I'll tell you this much: it's still kind of a wet dream. I know in our minds, we were thinking of the last time The Rock was on Game Day. He told the story of this deal was done last year, and something happened to change it. I don't know if it was a movie or a TV show or some kind of like Hollywood deal, but they did the thing on Young Rock where they kind of like hinted at WrestleMania, Roman versus The Rock. We got it again. I mean, this is going to be fun, but it was just a matter of how we get there. My biggest question mark right now is The Rock going to be at the Rumble? Is he going to be in the Rumble? Does this mean a heel is winning the Rumble and is not going to pick to go after that championship? Is it going to be like, I never really thought about it, but, could Solo win the Rumble because he's in the family, decide that, he's not going after Roman, and this is going to be him pushing towards being the future head of the table, and that he's going to go after Seth? Because so much I've really been thinking like whoever wins this Rumble is going to WrestleMania to take on Roman. That's why, Cody is like your number one kind of guy. That's why, CM Punk is like right up there as like one of the number one guys. Who else is in there? I mean, I guess those are the two big ones. Kind of has to be one or the other right now. I guess even though he is the champion, maybe Seth could still be in the Rumble because he wants a shot of being the guy to defeat Roman. They got a story that definitely could be told of their days in the Shield. Ambrose isn't there. Moxley's running around in AEW. But, they really could bring up the Shield storyline. We've seen Roman versus Seth before. That was at the Rumble, too, the last time, because Seth wore the gear from the Shield in the match. But, yeah. Rock versus Roman. We've been talking about it for a long time. We've been hinting at it, but it really looks like after Monday Night Raw, I think it's really going to happen sooner than later. I think it's coming up this year. Peace out.